Welcome back to Nickals and Dimes, the #1 podcast in combat sports. Today we welcome to the show Zain Retherford, the Zain Train. We're super excited to have him on the show. Zain was a multiple-time national champion, world champion, Olympian, and we're going to chat about wrestling, of course, a little bit about business, his upbringing, and stay tuned to the end because we have one of the funniest all-time stories that we've ever had on the podcast. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into it.
Zain was just telling me he's never been on creatine.
No.
Bro. What?
No.
You've never done creatine?
Just like steak, red meat.
Well, yeah, but you've never taken creatine like the supplement?
No.
Bro, that's crazy.
Bro, stay off it because you'd be my weight. Okay. And that wouldn't be good.
I don't know what that would look like. That might not be good weight.
Yeah,
bro,
that's probably a legal thing, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. Just like if you haven't been on it at this point, it's one of those things where it's like it's not meant to be.
Not meant to be. All right.
It seems dangerous is all I'm going to say. Yeah.
It is a wonderful substance.
It's so good, bro. I feel way different.
Really?
I was
so
off
much
it
better.
for like close to a year.
What's that? You were off it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm back on it the last month and a half, and big difference.
So have you seen all the studies they're doing now about people with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and stuff? They're giving them creatine, and it's making like a massive difference in their memory and their brain
growth.
They're getting checked.
They're way happier.
No, their brains and the way that they're able to cognitively function.
Wow.
Really?
Very beneficial.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a miracle drug.
Creatine's the most studied supplement ever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like the only one that has it's kind of in a consensus this is good for you.
Yeah.
Everything else, even BCAAs or whatever, some people are
yeah.
But creatine's, everyone's yeah, that's the good one.
It makes a difference. Yeah.
It does for sure.
I had a bad rap when I was in high school.
Well, because people were one, I think the quality was lower.
Yeah, it was it would cause bloating and
people were
trap water and stuff.
Yeah, their kidneys were failing and stuff if they weren't staying hydrated.
Yeah, but it's gotten really good.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So what's up, man?
Partying.
Nice.
It's been
Going to Final X tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys going out?
No.
TBD.
Yeah.
I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and now I'm we'll see. I
have to space my Jersey visits out. Otherwise, I'll just stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta be
Newark
careful.
too? You'd say in Newark?
Definitely not.
Okay.
New York's sick, dude.
Newark's getting built up a lot. I'm getting a lot of properties in Newark right now.
Okay.
Yeah, sent to me. They're they're really building it up. Proximity to the city. So just keep an eye out for that.
Affordable?
It's affordable for the rents.
Okay.
You can buy a $600,000 triplex, and the rents are $2,500 a piece. So
that's pretty good.
The cash flow is still really good. You might look both ways when you walk down the street, but it's getting built up, so it's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did they did Final X there 2 years ago.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2023, and it was a little sketch.
Yeah. How do you feel about the guys with Final X this year?
Feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some young guys with Lil Doll and Duke, but some first time guys in Final X, but feel good about it.
Yeah.
Guys are ready.
Those are two crazy matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. PJ Duke's in high school.
Yeah.
Made Final X.
Dude's a stud.
Yeah, he's good.
Really tough.
Have you rolled with him a good amount?
Just over at the World Team Trials and a little bit at the Open, but just here and there when he comes in. Dude's a stud.
Yeah, for sure. I feel we were all 2014. No, you were 2013, right? High school?
2013, yeah.
Yeah, so we were all right in there about the same year, and that wasn't a thing. Barely 10 years ago, who was making... I remember the one guy, Jake Deichler from Minnesota, made the Greco Olympic team, but nobody was doing that in high school. Nobody was even close, really. Wasn't really a thing.
Yeah. I think... just looking back at brackets, Pico at 2016.
Pico, yeah. He was close, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, him and Frank, I don't know if they went 3 matches. They might have went.
I think they did, yeah.
And so, so I was looking back at that, but I don't think there's as many like as there are now. Like there's a lot of young guys coming.
Seems like the majority of the guys are young.
Yeah,
and maybe it has to do too. I feel like everything got screwed up a little bit with the Olympics getting pushed back a year over COVID, because then people were like, "Oh, I wouldn't have really competed another cycle," but now it's only 3 years, so that kind of competed to 24, and then it just kind of threw a wrench in stuff. And so now I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's so young, you know, like there's not really very many guys even from like our years that are competing anymore. Like a lot of people have transitioned.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think, you know, people think of it quad by quad.
Right.
And then, there's been a lot of youth this year, especially. I think we'll see that going into 28.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. How are you feeling? You haven't competed since the Olympics, and did you like... Did you retire? Is it official? No.
No.
We can cut that too. So it's not really
it's not like semi-retired, I guess.
You're semi-retired.
Yeah, still in the testing pool for USADA and everything.
You're still in the testing. That's what I should ask. Are you in the testing?
Yeah, we're in the testing.
You're on the spectrum, retired spectrum.
Yes. It's somewhere in there.
Retired on the spectrum.
Could always pop back. Yeah. No, feel good though. It was good to I think with cutting a lot of weight and having a concussion, that wasn't a good combination. So it took me a while to get back to feeling good, but by February started to have less symptoms. Yeah. Still have things every once in a while, but nothing too crazy. Yeah. So feel good.
So talk about that a little bit, about the concussions. I mean, I've never had a diagnosed concussion. I'm sure I've had small ones here and there, but it seems like something that is so hard to deal with, because it's not like a knee or a shoulder or an elbow. It's it's not like, oh, this is torn, I need to rehab and fix it. It's a very interesting injury.
Yeah, I always said if my leg was falling off and I was wrestling in the Olympics, I was gonna duct tape that thing and figure it out.
It is what it is.
But so it was ironic. 3 weeks before a competition, get a concussion during training, wrestling a guy I wrestle with all the time. But I think so. I got it. That happened on a Monday, and I felt completely fine. What was weird was I practiced Tuesday, felt completely fine. Wednesday morning, I wake up and I stumbling, getting off the bed and things like that. So, I didn't even know what was wrong with me. I saw Christopher, maybe I'm cutting a lot of weight, so maybe it's my caffeine or my diet or something I need to change. So I did some of that too, but it's just hard to know and, just trusting. I was meeting with some great athletic trainers from USA Wrestling and some doctors there when I was out in France. Just hard to know what you're just taking it day by day and seeing your progress is really dependent on what your brain's willing to do.
Right.
So
yeah, pretty interesting. What was your experience like? Obviously the majority of your time leading up to the Olympics was probably just focused on that. But being at the Olympics, what was the experience like outside of competition and trying to get healthy?
Yeah, we got out there right during the opening ceremonies, so that was cool. Yeah. I was 2 feet from Simone Biles, and I remember I was on the phone with Juliana, and she, I was she said if you saw Simone, get a picture with her. That was the only.
that's the one.
Yeah, that was the one, and I was just
yeah.
I showed
you might
her.
want to delete that now.
Yeah.
She's in hot water.
Uh-oh.
Is she?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
A little bit. Well, so she was I don't have an opinion on this subject, but basically she came at the one girl who's very outspoken against men competing in women's sports. Mm-hmm. And then she was Simone kind of got a little nasty with her, and people were totally on the other girl's side.
Oh yeah.
And then they pulled up some old tweets about that didn't look good on her part. Dang. So basically she's in hot water for some trans issues.
It was the girl that lost to the guy.
Riley Gaines, the swimmer. Oh, so that was a big thing. So Simone said something to her, and it was it was kind of nasty. It was you look like you're complaining about men or whatever, but you look like a man. And it was all right, that was not very classy. And then they pulled up some old stuff, and it just wasn't a good look for her.
Got it. That's tough.
Yeah. But she was cool back then. So
I didn't get a picture. I didn't say hi. She's in a little group, but
is she this tall?
Yeah, all of them. It's crazy.
All of them.
I was like, wow.
You were like, "What's up, shorties?"
I feel really tall right now. It was great.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we stood next to like all the whole basketball team. So like
so
all
like
those
opposite.
guys, you're like, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, the Olympic Village was like buzzing because it was opening ceremonies.
Right.
You got everyone coming in like excited. And then we went away to a different town for the remaining, because we were the last few days of competition for wrestling. So we kind of like went off site, did our training, came back in. I was the last day of competition, last 2 days.
Yeah.
And when I was back in the Olympic Village, it felt like it was cleaned out. Like,
Wow.
the buzz was gone.
Yeah.
Felt like a deserted place. And it was cool though.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's crazy. Did you get to like look around Paris or anything, or just you were focused on her?
We stayed for a week afterward.
Yeah.
So that was cool to
That's cool.
see a little bit, sightsee,
Nice.
eat.
Yeah. Good food.
Croissants, really good. Really good croissants.
Good coffee.
Yeah, some good coffee. Miss it.
It was that big of a difference when you were drinking the coffee and eating the baked goods. You were like, this is like
It's
a level up.
This is brain food right now. Yeah.
Oh,
It was nice.
nice.
Needed
Love
it.
that. Yeah. Did you have a specific order that you were like going to?
No, but in the Olympic Village, there was like a muffin that this one, I think a guy was from like Norway, was like hyping it up, and all the people in the village were trying it. And I tried it like after competition, and it was mid, wasn't good.
Wow.
Dang.
So
Well, I don't think Norway, I don't think they're really a baked goods place. So he probably just had like a regular muffin in a plastic wrapper. And
Pretty
was
much
like,
what
this
it
is
was.
fire.
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you eat at the Olympic Village at all?
just when I was done competing.
Was
Yeah,
it just normal
yeah, it was fine.
American
like
food.
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Nothing crazy.
yeah.
Were the beds
Cafeteria.
cardboard,
They were cardboard.
but comfortable or no?
When you're getting ready to compete, it's like
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
No
but-
big deal.
yeah, no big deal. Sleep on the
Yeah.
floor.
I
But
saw somebody made a big deal about that. They were like, give us cardboard bed, like the frame.
That is interesting.
Yeah. It worked
yeah,
though.
I think if I was not cutting weight and was like already a little comfortable,
Yeah.
then I'd be complaining about it probably.
Oh,
But-
really?
But
Yeah.
it's like
At that point, you got bigger things on your mind.
right,
You're like, just go to bed.
just go to bed.
I'll go to bed on the
Got
on the
cotton
ground.
mouth, Yeah,
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
yeah,
You're having sleep for dinner.
yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on competition now? Like, where's your head at? Just
Yeah. I'm wrestling in a league called the Claw League.
oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that'll be in State College in October. So
Awesome.
it's kind of like a mixed rule set, but just kind of testing the waters. And it's in State College. I've been training with guys, so
Yeah.
figure might as well. And I'm not competing against any of the guys in that, so it's like,
Right.
yeah, pretty
Nice.
pretty easy.
Do you have a matchup yet, or
No matchup.
TBD.
There'll be a draft in July, but then we'll
Okay.
see. There'll be like dual teams and stuff
nice?
get matched up.
That's exciting. What's the weight? 60 kilo.
157, which
Oh,
is
that's
like
Solid for you.
perfect.
Get on some creatine.
Maybe not, I don't know.
You didn't
I
say
don't think I'm good.
184.
Maybe too much.
That won't be good. Yeah.
That's cool to see that those leagues coming out too. That
Yeah.
I think that will help the sport. What do you think?
Yeah. You got RAF, which is another big one coming out. A lot of excitement with that one. I think it's been like wrestling's been overdue for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing has really stuck thus far. So just kind of excited for Claw. It's got some like folk style kind of rules. Yeah, we'll see.
What is the rule set?
Folk style
Okay.
on your feet,
Okay.
like takedowns and stuff. And then there's some top and bottom wrestling. And then they're throwing in like these pylons so you
I've
can
seen
like
this.
hit those.
I've
Yeah.
seen some highlights of this. How does that work?
If you're on bottom and you swipe them, you'll get like a point.
Okay.
But then the other guy's trying to hold you down and
Right.
turn you. But you only get 1 minute on top and bottom. Like those
So if you
periods.
turn in a minute, you get points.
You get
But if you don't, or if they get an escape,
yep.
can you lock hands? No.
No.
No lock hands. So folk style rules, but if you hold a guy down for a minute, back up.
Yeah, or if the guy smacks the pylon, he
If he
gets a
smacks the
point on
pylon,
bottom.
point and he's up.
Not up, just gets a
Just a
point.
point.
Yep, starts back down.
Has to get an escape.
Yep.
What riding time? No.
I don't think so.
No riding
I'm not sure. I gotta read up on the rules before I wrestle it. But
I'm like quizzing you.
Yeah.
I gotta, That's funny.
But, yeah, I don't.
That's cool though.
Yeah, thanks.
They've done a few. They've done a few events, or no?
They did a few test events last year.
Test events.
Yep.
Got it.
So first full season.
Dude, folk style on top.
That's dangerous.
Bad. That's dangerous. That's not good for other people. The bow and arrow is bad.
Like they just created
you were doing that in freestyle some, but folk style, it's like, forget about it.
Miss it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Any matchups that you'd be excited about, or really just whoever
yeah.
match you up with?
I'm doing it for fun. I'm going to take it seriously, but I'm doing it for fun. Like I don't know when I'll actually come back and do like the world team circuit and stuff, or if I will. But yeah, it's just fun. It's here in State College, and we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does the team aspect work? So you said there's a draft.
There's like, I think 4, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but like 4 to 6 teams.
Okay.
And then you get paired up in duels, and then you wrestle the teams in your pool. And then if you win your pool, you go to like a finals tournament in Pittsburgh. In
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
In November?
November, I think.
So the season will go October to November.
Yeah, like 2 months.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Got a grand prize for the championship team?
I don't know yet.
TBD, probably.
TBD, probably.
Nice.
Maybe Dave and Buster's or something.
50 G's is the D and B's.
Yeah.
You can hit that whack-a-mole machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind that one.
Let's go.
How's coaching been? How's that new kind of chapter been for you?
It's been fun. Yeah. It was awkward at first though. I feel like I come into practice and I'd be like,
Don't know what to do.
yeah, I don't know what to do. Like I want to wrestle, and then I don't know. You get used to it. Just start just think outside of like my training, I guess, and think like, how can I help these guys?
Yeah.
And then once you do that mindset shift, it's not too hard. But I enjoy it. It's actually like getting me better at like breaking down technique and stuff. Yeah. So I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I could see how that would be a huge change though. Like you're going in every day with a plan, and then now you're just going around and like you got to separate yourself and just kind of walk around and like see what people need. It's like much different mindset.
Yeah, it's just taking like, I don't know, like when you compete, you usually have some data from your last competition, like, hey, these things worked or these things didn't. And then it's like thinking that with each guy that you're working with, like you watch him during the season at a match. You're like, man, how could he, do that better, or like give him some words of encouragement, like you're doing this good, you're making these adjustments. So
right.
Yeah.
How do you balance this is something that I run into as well, and I'm sure Tony you do too, but the idea where you're still in your like athletic prime, like you're not like, out of it to the point where you can't compete, but you're really trying to help guys out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you balance the competitiveness that I'm sure you still have with doing what's best for the guy you're working with?
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's worked for me so far is just like when we're going live, just taking my ego out of it the best that I can, and just thinking like, hey, making sure I'm not putting him in any positions, whoever I'm wrestling, where they're going to get hurt, first of all, or and just giving him a good feel. Like that's what I'm thinking the whole time when I'm wrestling with guys is like,
right.
Maybe not me scoring as much as like, am I giving him a realistic feel?
Yeah.
Is he going to, get this in a match?
Right.
So there'll be times where I pick up the pace to try to give someone, like act like I'm doing underhooks, try to push him out of bounds or something. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I feel like it's hard to turn that off.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned that you haven't really figured it out, but that ego, it doesn't really just go away.
Yeah.
And so how do you help the guys best? It's like, all right, well, you want to be the best everybody in Penn State wants to be the best in the world. And so it's like, you have to go hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like there's certain contexts where you got to give and take a little bit in the practice room. So it's not like a easy balance.
No. Yeah. I mean, we got some really good young guys too in the room.
Right.
And
yeah.
It's like, man, if I don't wrestle somewhat hard, I might get hurt.
Yeah.
So
you got to protect yourself.
Protect yourself, give them a good feel. And yeah, I think just that mindset shift of being like when you're training, you're like, I'm trying to score as many points as possible. And now you're like, I'm thinking, how can I give this guy a good feel? So that helps a lot. Yeah.
Do you think that when you are for sure all done competing and ready to move on, that is coaching something that you're like very interested in, or is it just kind of like part of what you're doing now?
I like it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like it. Like it is a lot of fun. I've wondered if it would be fun to like step into that full time. But I like business stuff, and I think businesses are fascinating. Kind of just might want to explore that at some point when I'm done competing. But I think I'll always have wrestling like a part of me involved in some way. So yeah, TBD.
Can you talk about that, your business, your upcoming business, and then talk about that first. I'm interested in that.
Little Lions Play Den. Juliana's idea. So it'll be a indoor kids play gym. So it'll be like play equipment for kids.
Perfect for you, Ronan.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there'll be a little slide and stuff. It'll be sweet. But yeah, there'll be like coffee for moms, so moms can relax and talk, and then kids can play.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Where did that idea come from? You said it was your wife's idea.
Yeah, TikTok.
Nice.
They've been popping up a lot. So,
Okay.
and then just over the past year or two, like we went and saw one. We were actually thinking about like moving out to New York City at one point. I had a job offer, and we were thinking about it. So, like we went out to tour that town that my boss worked in, and there was one of these there, and Stetson went, and we liked it. We're like, we need this in State College. So
it seems like super needed because there's so many young families. There's so many people that are like, what do we do?
Yeah, and the weather here is like 50-50
Yeah.
most of the year. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
should be fun.
Yeah.
But
Do you see yourself like, obviously it's very early with this, but do you see yourself like putting, the plan together for this one and doing more, or just like kind of having this one and then maybe using that experience, branching into new businesses, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, maybe open to either, really. Like
Right.
just kind of see what feedback we get. And then take it a year at a time. But
Right.
I would like to like long term have a couple of different businesses. I think like that'd be really cool. Just figure out some different things. But I'd be open if it does well, growing it and seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at starting a business and all the effort that takes and the mindset that takes, what are some things that you think are really important that you want to focus on and that you want like to be a core part of your business structure and strategy?
Really like keeping customers happy, make sure we're like providing value. Like I was reading this really good book. MJ DeMarco is the author. I'm blanking on the name of the book, but he was just talking about like he gets a lot of negative feedback or just feedback. Like you see Google reviews and he's like, don't take those personally, even if it's negative. Like that's free feedback that you're getting on how to improve your systems. So that's something like going into it that I want to really keep in mind. Like even if we get a negative review, just being like, that's free feedback, and the market's telling us what they want, and we'll mold to what they want.
Yeah, that's information.
Yeah.
So like customer, focus on the customer, right?
Yeah, it's like wrestling or competition. You go into a fight or a match, and you do some things good, and you do some things that you're like, man, I want to improve on that. And so that's data. Like, but you got to step into the field of competition. So like the way I see it, the same with business. Like you got to open the door first and test it out. You're gonna have things you do well, things that you need to improve, those systems, but you don't get there unless you step into that field, and then kind of tweak it as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any entrepreneurs or people that you look up to, I guess, like as examples of, maybe stories that you've read or people that have had careers that you respect, or even like people that, are well-known, or even people that you just know personally?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of books I've read, but anyone specific, like Ira Lubert. Yeah. Phenomenal entrepreneur. I mean, people that are associated with Penn State wrestling. But no one else really specific. Just that author that I was talking about, MJ DeMarco, I really like some of his principles and, the way he structures life, the way he thinks about owning a business. So maybe him, but
Yeah.
kind of recent in my mind because I just read that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in finance and kind of what your experience was in that world?
Yeah. Studied finance in undergrad. Always was kind of like, man, if I didn't go down the wrestling path, I might want to do something in finance. Like if I hadn't stuck around and did the freestyle circuit, might have tried to go to Wall Street or something. I think that would have been cool for a bit. But yeah, met some really great professors here and decided one day, hey, I want to do an MBA. So I did that after 2021, finished that out. Met a guy named Taylor Lukoff. He's a USA Wrestling supporter at a function for USA Wrestling, and he's got a finance firm in New York City called ABR, and he's actually the first person that hired me. So got my feet wet there. Was working remote while wrestling. Liked that job, but decided I wanted to stay in State College, and kind of did a short stint in wealth management here in town. Another great guy, Eric Dare, State College guy, but just didn't like resonate with me. Like I found myself every day in the office kind of just fantasizing about not being there. So that was the first time I had that in a job.
Wow.
So I think just the pressure of like selling to friends and family like too early, I just didn't like that feeling. So kind of wanted to know the material a little bit, and not that I felt maybe it was just internal pressure, but just didn't like it. So just decided after a couple months of that, step into coaching. I still have like interest in finance, like for the plate end, I'm doing a lot of like the Excel docs and stuff, but so I like toying with that stuff, but
Super helpful for your businesses.
yeah, I'm more like, I'm learning about myself that I'm more like creative. So I like entrepreneurship's good, I think, because you can create something and then also there's like numbers behind it too that matter. But I think when I go too far down like the analytical side, I don't enjoy it as much. I can do it, but it's not my favorite.
And sales too, like that's a specific type of person.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't attracted to that either. Like I like to buy stuff from people. Like I like to buy houses.
Yeah.
But like the idea of going to like people that I love and like selling something to them is like kind of uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But some guys really do well at it.
Right.
I'd rather like create a really good product, and then people come to like be a part of that product.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think that. So I've been listening to this podcast called Founders Podcast.
Okay.
And it's really good. You should check it out. But basically this guy just goes through as many different biographies and autobiographies as he can, all about history's greatest entrepreneurs. And he's done probably close to 400 episodes. And he, he'll even like some guys that aren't, maybe don't have a biography or an autobiography, he'll take like transcripts of interviews or speeches that they gave and print them out and then just like read through everything and highlight it and take notes and stuff. But a lot of the themes from person to person translate. And it's almost weird because he'll talk about a person from, 200 years ago, and then he'll talk about a person from like 50 years ago, and they ran the same playbook.
Wow.
And so so he'll talk about like specific things, obviously involving what it takes to run a successful business. And sales specifically is such an interesting thing because it's not like naturally it's hard to do, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel the same way. Like I've tried to sell things before and I'm like, I don't feel good about this. The same way like both of you guys have explaining it. But all of the best entrepreneurs in history, I won't say all, but a large majority of them are amazing at sales. And I really think the reason that they're amazing at sales is not because they're good at selling. It's because what they're selling is like so integral to like who they are.
Yeah.
And it's like it's something that they just can't not sell.
Yeah.
Like Steve Jobs at Apple, right? Like you don't think of Steve Jobs as a salesman, but really he was selling like, all of Apple's products, and the way he was able to get so good at it was that he just believed so strongly that this was like going to change the world and how important it was to, to humanity. And it's like, I think that not everybody's naturally good at sales. Like there's some people that can just sell. Like it's some people have it, but I think if you find something that you really identify with and you can get behind,
It doesn't feel like sales.
no, then it's just like you're gonna sell, right? Like you're like, I love this, so I'm gonna sell it. Like I think we're all actually kind of selling every day, like by what we're wearing, what we're talking about, the recommendations we make to people. Like we're all doing that, but it just doesn't feel natural, I think, if you are doing something that you don't like identify with perfectly.
I think that's where I struggled with wealth management. What I was talking about is like I didn't know the material well enough to sell it yet. Not that it was like
Early,
bad or anything. It was just like felt early, and like I think you need to have a little bit of time and to like believe in what you're selling. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean the Play Cafe, it's like that's something that is going to add value to people's lives.
Yeah,
and so it's like you're not going to have any issue talking about it and recommending it, and at the end of the day, really what you're doing is selling it to people. You're selling the experience of their kids having a good time, being able to meet other people and have a community, and like that's an easy thing for you to sell because you value it, and it's really important to you and important to a lot of other people. So it makes sense.
Yeah,
And you know it well, right? Like you're saying, that wealth management is not that it's not a good thing. It's just like you don't know it as well as maybe some people, or as you could if you put a lot of time into it.
Right.
Yeah, like the stereotypical salesman of like selling solar door to door, but they're just getting started. Like that kind of mentality is different than like Bo's saying, and how I feel about like creating a product that you love or like mastering a craft. And then from there, it's all sales and marketing anyway. So, but then it feels different. Like, like if I know real estate, my niche better than anybody, I have no problem like telling people about it, and that in itself is sales. But I guess my goal is more of I know it so well, and that's like reflected that people are attracted to it, and then it's less of being like salesy to them, like, hey, you need to be involved in this, and like more of like, this guy knows it so well, I want to be a part of it. And I think that's what like it seems like Steve Jobs and people like that do so well, is they just become like engulfed in it, and then they become a master at it, and then it's impossible for people to not want to be sold.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, what they call that in business is your business's moat, right? So it's like a protection for your business. And so like the best moat that you can develop and create for your business that's going to sustain you and protect you through, let's say financial downturns or whatever it is like pouring yourself and like just like absolutely knocking the quality and the understanding of the product out of the park. Yeah. It's like you not only have to have that depth of knowledge that is just like world class and, the best, but then it's like use that to create the highest quality of whatever it is that you're trying to create, whether it's, a home, or whether it's a experience for people, or a product for people. Or it's like, that's what is really insulating you from, I think Warren Buffett's quote is like, you don't realize how many people are swimming with no pants on till the tide goes out. Yeah. And it's like, that's what, when you focus on that understanding and quality, you're insulating, you're creating a moat.
For sure.
Yeah. Nickals and Dimes is sponsored by Tastemade. You ever open the fridge, stare at it, and just go, I have no idea what I'm eating tonight? That used to be me almost every day. I'd be starving after practice, open the fridge, and just hope some kind of meal magically appeared. Spoiler alert, it didn't. That's why I started using Tastemade Plus, and it's honestly made my life so much easier. Their personalized meal planner builds out your whole week based on what you like to eat. You can change meals with one tap, and it gives you a full grocery list too, which saves me time and a bunch of last-minute grocery runs. The best part, it's not just boring chicken and rice. I've been into the sheet pan gnocchi primavera lately. Easy to make, tastes like I actually know what I'm doing in the kitchen, and the step-by-step recipe videos make it almost impossible to mess up. And when I'm cooking, I just turn on cooking mode so my screen stays awake the whole time. No more elbowing my phone while I've got olive oil on my hands. So if you're tired of playing fridge roulette every night, check it out. Try Tastemade Plus free for 7 days right now at tastemade.com/Nickals. As a listener, you'll also get 40% off your first year. Cancel anytime, no pressure. That's tastemade.com/Nickals. Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's super interesting. That podcast is really good. That he was
Founders
talking about.
podcast? Yeah.
Dude, check it out. It's my favorite. I listen to it every day.
Okay.
So I started listening to it in January or February, and I've no joke probably listened to 70 plus episodes.
Wow.
Maybe more. Like I listen to it every day. I love it.
All right.
It's so, and the thing, I love two things about it. One, on a basic level, I feel like I'm learning and growing as an entrepreneur and as a person. Like you're learning so much and from so many people's experiences. And two, the stories are just awesome. It's like, I love listening to stories. And I think that hearing how these people came up, and some people like just came up and killed it, and it was like they were basically the favorite the whole time. Like they should have killed it, and then they did. Or some people, it was like the opposite, where they really had nothing and built to, becoming, multi-billion-dollar net worth people. And it's like, that to me is, you just learn so much. And I love, the learning and the growth, but I also love just like the entertainment of the story. Yeah, it's really cool. And it's so interesting. It's literally, you hear the same story over and over a lot, but just little tidbits of different kind of nuances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check that out.
You should. Yeah. My favorite one, it's hard to say my exact favorite one, but I forget the guy's name, but he's the guy that founded Hyundai.
Yeah.
So he's a Korean guy, and he literally he grew up a rice farmer with like nothing, like literally like his family like had nothing, and he built Hyundai up to be like the largest company in Korea.
Wow.
Crazy, bro. You have to listen to it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They just
I
bought
should
out-
Tony that
Yeah.
one.
I think they bought out Kia too.
Did
They're
they?
growing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're gigantic.
Yeah.
And
Dude had like so many catastrophes.
bro, like 6 in a row where it was like he was done. And then he comes back.
Wow.
Like the mental fortitude is unbelievable. And what a lot of people don't know about Hyundai is they actually have, like, you think of the car now, but they're so much more than that. Like they build bridges and roads, and they do like shipping, and they built
Like excavators and stuff, right? Like the big.
literally like
Yeah,
I
everything.
think
Like
I've
they're
seen those.
building like unbelievable amount of stuff. They're doing like Saudi oil stuff. Like they're huge. And they started off, the guy actually started off as a kid as a farmer. He just helped his dad farm. And then he moved to Seoul, which it was at the time, I think it maybe still is, but the biggest city in Korea. And then he started working at a rice shop. That was like how he got started. He just worked at a rice shop, and it said that he worked so hard. The guy that owned the rice shop would give him like, it was something like, it started off with like 7 bags of rice in a month. And he said it was the first time he ever felt rich. The guy gave him like 7 bags of rice, and he was like, "We made it." Like
Yeah,
I'm rich.
he wrote his dad.
He wrote his dad and said, "Dad, we made it. I'm rich."
Wow.
Like, and then became a, unbelievable entrepreneurial success. But there's stories like that over and over.
That's cool.
Yeah. You should definitely check it out. It'll be really good too for your business, because it'll give you so many ideas.
Yeah.
So many insights into how to run things.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Let's take a step back. Talk to me about like how you came up, because I mentioned farming, but like that was a big part of
Yeah.
your childhood growing up.
Yeah. Grew up on a pumpkin farm. Spent the summers trying to go to wrestling camp so I could get out of work on the pumpkin farm. Yeah. All the kids were like at camp, like, I don't want to.
And you were like, this is
home.
amazing.
Like, this is sweet. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like Halloween still is like special to me. So, but yeah, grew up on a pumpkin farm, got to fish a lot, walked around barefoot a lot as
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Worked the fields.
Do you think
So,
that helped your foot structure?
definitely
and health?
I got a wide foot.
You got a wide foot.
Yeah, got a fat foot. I think that
Which is
contributed.
probably how it's supposed to be. Like we're all stuck in shoes all day, and so our feet get narrow.
Yeah.
But maybe Yeah, barefoot's the way.
Yep.
Yeah. What type of, like, growing up, you know, you kind of mentioned that wrestling camp was almost like a break in the work for you, but like what type of work were you doing?
So like the summertime was the worst, honestly. It's like the preparation for the harvest. So you're picking picking rocks a lot in the field to make sure the plow can go through. And and then when we lay black plastic down, and then we put it helps the pumpkins grow a little better. So then we plant it. We did everything by hand too. Like there's like equipment for it.
Right.
But then my dad would always not buy the equipment.
That's not the style.
Yeah. So, but that was fun. It was part of it.
Yeah.
Like get like a hoe and you get the weeds off the plastic so that the pumpkins can grow better. So it's like a lot of that. And it's just hot out in the field all day. And you're bent over.
Right.
Oh, my back hurts now. But,
Do you feel like, I mean, I feel like it probably goes without saying, but you feel like that helped you become a better wrestler, just having some resilience and toughness?
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, we worked hard as a family. So like, it was fun though. Like it was a family process to get, pumpkins in the field, out of the field, sell them. So, but it definitely like when my parents would like send me to wrestling camp or practice, like we used to drive 5 hours sometimes to go to Colat's practice after school and back, like get out early and go there.
Yeah.
So like anytime I felt like they were making that commitment for my wrestling, I was like, man, they could be in the field or I could be in the field. I'm like glad to be here. I'm grateful to be here. So I think that it just like helped me get gratitude early because like we could have been doing harder work.
Yeah. Like a really interesting perspective that a lot of young kids probably don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I didn't have Fortnite. My dad.
You're making up for it now?
Yeah. It's nice now.
Do you feel like, this might sound like a weird question, but does any part of you kind of like miss that a little bit? Like doing that hard work and you're just like, look at your life now and, you're still obviously working very hard, but it's just so different than like being in that.
And that's a good question. I don't know if it's like a disorder or not, but like even now I've noticed about myself that like I need to stay busy. So after college, right? Like before, when we're in college, we're going to school and we're wrestling and we got a lot of doing camps, like got things going on. I tried it for a bit where I was just focused on wrestling and I hated it. Like I was not performing as good.
It's too much.
It was too obsessive about one thing.
Yeah.
I think that maybe came from like growing up. Like I had, like there was wrestling, but we had work when we come home. So it took me a while to like, maybe I should, add things in that are, outside of wrestling that are good.
Yeah.
So then I went to school, you become a dad, get married. Like I think it's just good to have things that are like more important than wrestling for sure. And just like outside activities outside of wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such an interesting thing. I feel like, there's so many things that happen in our lives that as we grow up, it's just stuff that you're not like, you're just doing it. You're like in it. And then you look back and you're like, oh, that's why I am like this.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. How has being a dad been? What's that journey been like?
Chaotic. It's fun. No, it's the best though. It's like got two 2.5-year-old Stetson, Wyatt. He just turned 6 months. So 1 to 2 was crazy. Just because 0 to 1 is crazy. It's like it's a big life adjustment. But 1 to 2, you're like, you get systems. You think you got things down. You get a routine. And then your systems are like, okay, we're making new ones now.
Yeah.
Make this work. But it's a lot of fun. Like I was just home. We got some Texas Roadhouse and came over here. Yeah.
Nice.
Get those cinnamon butter.
Yeah. Stetson
rolls.
housed down some cinnamon rolls.
Let's go.
And then was outside playing with the dog. Like it's the best.
Yeah.
So I love it.
That's awesome.
What do you want to take from your childhood and how you were raised and instill in them?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I'm excited about the business, like Little Lions, because like I grew up working with my parents and kind of was always like under a produce stand. Like I'd sleep under there and then wake up and be selling corn or watermelon. So like I look back on those memories and they like fond memories, you know, working with my siblings, working with my parents. So like, I don't see them working in there every day, but like just teaching them things like, hey, here's a customer, like, you know, help make change, like something little like that. Like I learned how to make change really young. I don't even know, maybe I want to say 3, but probably 4 was like making change. So yeah, I think like that's how I want to raise kids, just kind of bring them into our life, what we have going on, and you know, teach them that way. Yeah.
How are you going to instill like the work ethic?
Yeah, I should ask you that question too. You're doing it too. I think I think like lead by example, I guess, and that's why I'm excited with the business to just show them like Juliana's gonna be working in it too. Just your mom works hard, like, and still make time for all the things. Right. I mean, I'm thinking back to the way we grew up, and I'm trying to like do that in some ways, just because like I thought it was good. So
you saw your parents and how they. Something that you said earlier was like, when we go to drive 5 hours to Colat's or go to a wrestling camp, you're like thinking about it in a different way. Where you saw your parents working, or you could have been working, and it's like you have a different type of gratitude for that. Yeah, and it's like I think that really that comes down to like being a good example, right?
Be a good example, I think, is important, and like Chris D'Elia, comedian. Yeah. I saw something, he was talking about like he never touched any like substances. Right. And he like was talking about how his parents one time like had heard that some of his friend group was like experimenting with drugs or something, and his dad brought him aside and said like, hey, if you're gonna do it, just do it under our roof, you know, and like I don't care if you do it, just we want you to be safe. He's like, I never wanted to do it after that because it was like
there was no rebelliousness.
There's no rebelliousness, and it's like he just like I felt like my parents just cared for me, like they wanted me safe, like they're not, and so I don't know. I thought that was cool too.
That is cool. It's hard to balance because I feel like as people that have a strong drive and ambition, you know, you want your kids to have that, but it's so counterintuitive because if you like try to force them, you just know it's going to go the other way. It's going to, like, if you're like trying to force that on them. Yeah. But if you lead by example and give them an example of like good values and character, then I think usually, you know, they're around it in your product, your environment, so they follow suit. But yeah, it's a hard balance because you can't do too much and you don't want to do too little. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony?
I don't know, man. It seems like with your dad or your dad, I feel like they probably saw as your personality matured, like they probably saw like this kid can handle it to a certain extent. I would think so, because I know with your dad, it's like he was super involved and pushing you, but it wasn't like over the top. But for some kids, it could have been. Right. And so I feel like maybe as a dad, you start to see like the personality form and like who they are, and if they're like gravitated towards it, or if they're like really pushing themselves on their own, then you're like, okay, maybe I can like join in and encourage him. But I've definitely seen it go bad a lot when like the dad is at a different level than the child. Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, yeah, it's something I'm going to be thinking about a lot too, is just like not overstepping, but also not just like stepping way back and not being involved. And that's where I think the balance of the mom and dad works really well.
Definitely.
But what do I know?
We're all just speculating.
I think too, like tough moms are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just remember, like going to my mom sometimes and it's like, like what'd your dad say? Not like getting coddled. Yeah. So like I think that's important too.
Yeah. How was your mom's involvement growing up?
There was one time where she, like I double bracketed at the state college youth tournament. I took second in like my age group, and then I jumped into the junior high and was getting whooped. And it was just like my 10th match. My dad was like, we got to keep going. Yeah. My mom was like, no, like you get out of here. We're done.
She called it.
She called it. Dang. And I'm glad, like my dad's even like glad that she did, but that was the only time. And I think that's important because I think, like you said, like my dad, I think knew that you can push,
Yeah.
but
Right.
you got to have a balance of like, hey,
For sure.
without like coddling.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Right.
It's a
Right.
balance.
10 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's more of a realistic perspective than like trying to be soft on them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like you need somebody sometimes, I think, to be like,
Don't
this is
kill 'em.
realistic. Like,
Yeah.
let's be realistic for a second.
Yeah.
Not because it's easy to be like in it, right? When you're in it, it's like you're way in it with
Yeah.
you have a certain personality. But yeah, that's interesting.
Mhm.
It was probably that's funny that you remember that moment specifically.
Yeah.
It's,
like the
probably like very vivid to you.
yeah. It's the only time I felt like she had to step in.
Yeah.
And be like, no, we're shutting this down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You're like, I'm going to die.
I can't do 11. Not doing it. Yeah.
We didn't talk too much about your college career.
Mm.
What are some top moments? What's your kind of perspective on your career looking back, and maybe how like wrestling as a whole has changed aside from like the obvious?
Yeah, my favorite all-time moment would be watching Bo pin Miles Martin in the tunnel with Coach Cody and Vincenzo.
Yeah.
We
I think there's a video of that. Like,
I hope there
There
is.
has to be somewhere.
That's my favorite moment. So cool. And like, I think Coach Cody or Chenzo's like, we like hugged. We're like freaking out. Like 3-guy hug.
Triple
Yeah.
Triple up.
And then Chenzo's like, I think I blacked out for a second. Like we were screaming so loud. So
That was
fun.
freaking crazy.
awesome.
Oh my gosh. That was so fun.
Yeah.
I loved our team.
Yeah, it was
We
fun.
had the best team, man.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so fun to be together and do that. Whenever anybody asks me questions about college, I just talk about our team.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I think there's so many memories that I can think of that were just freaking awesome. I always loved when you would pin that Michigan kid because I knew it was coming. It didn't matter what the score was, his first period, or if you whatever. He had a good blast double leg, so he was like, maybe once in a while he'd sneak a takedown on you, but I was like, this guy's gonna get pinned. But he was good, but it was just like
he was really strong.
he was
Yeah.
so strong. I was
Yeah.
just like, I just knew you were gonna pin him every time. It was so good.
Yeah,
I love
crazy.
when you wrestle the Iowa kid.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
you had some good ones.
Yeah.
Barn
Yeah,
burners.
that one.
A lot of like
Carver.
multi matches.
Yeah.
Like consistently, like 4+.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was tough too. Sorensen.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I always thought so. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt
No.
you, but I'll just say this real quick. I always was like, I knew how good you were. The first time I ever watched you wrestle actually was when we were in high school. This is crazy because I remember this vividly. And we were at the Cadet World Trials in Akron.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I was the weight above you, maybe like we weren't in the same weight, or I was the weight below you, maybe something like that. And you were wrestling, kid from Illinois, Bryce Brill,
Yeah.
Bryce Brill, and he was really good. And I just remember, like, you were so small for the weight.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, he looked like he had 20 pounds on you, and it wasn't a high weight. It was like 38 or something like that.
138,
Yeah,
yeah.
138. And I was like, dang, this is going to be a crazy match, but I just don't know how. I didn't know you. I was like, I don't know how that guy's going to win. He's like half this kid's size. And that kid was jacked, like freaking strong. And you kind of, maybe he got you like a takedown or something at the beginning, and you were like down a little bit. And then like he kind of started getting a little tired, and you were like, giving it to him. And then I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then you started taking him down, and you got him at the end. And I was like, wow, that guy's that guy's a dog. Like I don't know how you beat him. He was so much bigger than you.
He was huge.
Huge.
And I don't know who let me go up to 138. I was cutting 0 weight.
Yeah.
I had Arby's the night before. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I remember my high school coach, he used to say things like to motivate me. Like,
Yeah.
And I think he told me, like, don't wrestle 138. You're going to get whooped. And
You were like, yeah?
Then I won. And then he's like, I'm not going to Worlds with you because you're going to get whooped.
Wow.
And he ended up, he went, but it's just like, it was motivation.
he was trying to give it to you a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one vividly. And then, obviously, like I said, I knew you were really good. But then when I was one another match that like impressed the hell out of me was my freshman year. I think it was maybe your sophomore year. We were wrestling at Northwestern, and you were wrestling Cercis. and you just destroyed him, bro. You hit some of the nicest takedowns I've ever seen. And I'll be like, I'm not a guy like when somebody does something cool, especially back then. Now I'm more like, that was sick. Like I'll give people props, but back then I didn't do that because I was like, I can't tell anybody they're good. Like for some reason, it was an ego thing. But I remember after that match specifically, I said something to you. I was like, bro, that was like the nicest double leg I've ever seen. Like you hit one takedown, and I just like never. I never said stuff like that, but I had to say it. It was like that good. Funny. I was just like that. Those matches are ingrained in my mind, which is weird because those are not the matches I think most people would think of.
Yeah. It was a dual meet on the road, that Northwestern one.
Yeah, on the road against Northwestern.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, but those matches, I was like, I don't know why. Those are what come to my mind.
No, our team was the best.
So fun.
I was just thinking like, some of my favorite memories are even like being in the weigh-in line at the national tournament.
Oh my gosh.
And like, we're just joking around.
Yeah.
And everyone is so serious. Yeah. And you're like,
there's like,
yeah. And I'm like,
every weigh-in with Chenzo and his freaking underwear.
Chenzo, bro. He was the best at weigh-ins. Oh, man. Yeah.
And the funny thing is he was like the most sucked out.
I know. I don't know how he did that. He was just always a freaking...
Yeah.
Chenzo, despite, whatever you want to say, like, great attitude and brought it every time. Like,
so positive.
So positive. It was like he was cutting weight.
He was a dog too.
Just a savage. Didn't matter what was going on. No. Oh, man. Yeah, such fun memories. I really want at some point to do a like Last Dance style documentary from, I don't even know, like let's go like 2014 to 2024. You could do it whatever years work and get all the different people and do all kinds of cross interviews. Like we could have, all of us and get Nolf and Chenzo and Mark and, then get like just everybody, McCutcheon and Shaq, and then get like, the coaches and then get other people's perspective too. So get,
that'd be super cool.
Get like some media people, get like some people we competed against. Like you could get, just like guys from different school and just go over it all and like get the whole all encompassing perspective of like what went down.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
That'd be sweet. Someday.
Yeah. Someday. Yeah. Somebody, it would take some work to put together, but I think it needs to happen.
My top Zain moment is the Nico story with the cookie.
Dude, that actually is my top as well. That's my favorite.
What I learned. That's what I learned exactly who you were.
Yeah, you got to tell that story.
Love
it. People want to know.
All right. Nico Megaludis.
I'll tee it up real quick so you don't have to. So Nico and Zain live together. Obviously, everyone in the wrestling communities knows these two. You assume they're very, intense competitive people. Nico definitely took that to like a pretty wild level and, did some interesting things, but you guys had lived together for a while. And so you're hanging out one evening.
Yep. Yeah. There was some pent up, like, I don't know. We were both redshirting that year.
Yeah.
So that's some context too.
Yeah.
But, so I made some Toll House cookies. Me, Nico, and Matt McCutcheon was the other roommate. And Matt was eating them. He was wrestling that year and just had a few. They were tiny.
Yeah.
And, so Matt's like, Nico has to eat one. So pull it out of the oven. And we're like, Nico, eat this. And he was sitting on the couch, wouldn't eat it. So Matt puts it in his mouth. Nico closes Nico's mouth. He sits there for like a minute or two and then pulls it out whole and puts it on the table. He's like, that's mental toughness. And then he threw it in the trash. So I'm just like, man, I'm kind of mad.
And you made the cookies.
I made these cookies.
Yeah.
From scratch.
So
got them at the store. Yeah.
So disrespectful.
And so I was like, man, I got to get this guy back. So I grabbed it out of the trash, got in his face, I popped it in my mouth, all soggy, ate it. And I'm like, that's mental toughness.
Boom. And that's how we're going to end, folks.
Oh, my gosh.
Perfect ending. Oh, man. Well, thanks for coming on, Zain. This is great combo. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
And,
that's mental toughness.
Bye, everybody.